Good
Hi.
evening from India.
Good evening. Yes. Yes. How are
So
you
how?
doing?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
doing
good.
all.
I'm doing good. Doing good. Doing good for sure.
Yeah,
So,
sound.
what part of India are you from?
Uh,
Delhi.
I'm I'm from northern part of India.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is our first conversation. So it will be better to introduce each other.
Okay.
So could you introduce yourself a little
I'm
bit?
Steven. I am from Ohio, or I live in Ohio. I'm from the East Coast originally in the United States.
Yeah.
Um, Married, no kids, just relaxing today.
Yeah, that's great. It is weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in India, weekend is over right now. It is almost 10 p.m. You can say like a night, not midnight,
Yeah.
but night. Okay, so can I introduce myself?
Sure.
Yeah, so my name is Sandeep and I hail from India. And my major is accounts and finance. Currently, I'm working as a teacher at private school. My hobbies are reading books, learning languages, stacking conversation with strangers, and traveling. So it's my short intro.
Okay. For
Yeah,
sure.
that's it. So you are learning Sanskrit, right?
Yes.
So just I want to ask you why you want to learn Sanskrit. Is there any
Uh,
specific reason?
yeah, I want to, I'm learning it to be able to read certain things like Gita and Shastra.
Oh,
Just
that's great.
just curious, and I've got some poetry.
Yeah,
So
that is a great.
I had years ago um, started learning Tamil, which I know has some Sanskrit in it.
Yeah,
Um, Although the teacher said they are not in the same country that the people that spoke Sanskrit or whatever, so they have a different nationality, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, that's
So
a good.
okay,
Yeah, even
did
we Indian, Sanskrit is like world's oldest language. There is a controversy about Sanskrit and Tamil, but I think that Sanskrit is the oldest language of the universe,
right?
and all language has been, I think, origin or maybe split it
Okay,
from Sanskrit. I have heard. I think this is the reality.
okay.
Yeah. So you are learning Tamil, right? So
A little bit in
yeah.
the past, yeah.
Yeah, Tamil is also spoken in, I think, south part of India. When we talk about the south part of India, so mostly
Yes.
part in south, people speak Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, this type of languages.
Kannada,
People talk in, yeah, in South India. But I'm
yeah.
from northern part of India, so in north part of India, Hindi are popular. Mostly we
Hindi,
speak Hindi,
okay,
mostly state.
okay, yes, yes. Is it true that people called Aryans brought Sanskrit into India?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and Hindi, Hindi origin from Sanskrit. First, Sanskrit is split into
right.
the language. I forget the language. Then again, it is split into the in Hindi. So
Hmm.
Hindi origin from the Sanskrit language.
Yeah, because I know I have a friend from Pakistan, and he said that originally his country spoke Sanskrit, or hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, definitely. Earlier, Sanskrit, Pakistan was a part of India.
Right.
So, and even in in I think in Pakistan nowadays people speak Urdu. So Urdu is also, it origin in Hyderabad. Hyderabad
Oh,
is
okay.
yeah, south part of India. So
Yeah.
Urdu origin in Hyderabad, or Urdu is not a very old language. It is maybe some years old, but not very old.
Okay.
Yeah. So just I want to ask some question because you are a native speaker. And really, I appreciate to, really, I'm so happy to have you in this my podcast or conversation videos. Really, it is so fun. It will be a interesting videos. So just I want to ask you some random questions that
Sure.
will help to improve. Even I have some audience, they watch my videos, so it will be helpful for my audience. They could understand. Uh, so the first one, how can I improve my English speaking skill? Because to talk with native speaker is really, good, and we get answer the exact or perfect answer from native speaker. Even if you want to learn Hindi, I will help you. I will tell you the truth and the basic or foundation level what you have to
Right.
do. The same thing I want to ask you. So if how can I improve my English speaking skill if I want?
Uh, Speaking with native speakers, but I would also say watching films and listening to music. That's probably those are probably the best way to kind of learn a language, at least to speak and to remember. So
Yeah, definitely it's right. we, we have to immerse ourselves, like just we have to immerse like that, listen native speakers. If I want to if I like to listen music, we have to switch in English language. If I like watching any podcast or any like random videos, we need to switch language in English.
right,
That will be better.
yes.
Yeah, that correct. And one next question: if the what is the best way to learn English grammar? Mostly beginner or mostly
Mhm.
beginner. If they want to start English, they have afraid to learn grammar because grammar is really boring. We
Yeah,
don't like. Even I when I was in a school at a school, I don't like to learn grammar. And
yeah.
mostly, yeah, it mostly asked a question that
Right.
the best way to learn grammar. How can I learn?
Mhm. The best way to learn grammar is, I would say, to pick up some sort of grammar book, maybe, and there's some YouTube videos you can look at as well. What I've obviously I don't learn English that way, because that's kind of my native tongue, but I've learned other languages that way, and I've just had to, kind of read and figure out why, certain words are ordered a certain way, or if there's because there's different pronouns that change, a whole sentence. So that's
Yeah,
kind
that's
of what you
great.
learn. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of a weird thing to kind of learn a language because you're both listening, watching, and also you have to kind of learn that grammar part eventually. Which, yeah,
yeah, definitely. Actually, grammar is really boring. Mostly people ignore grammar. They want to learn in a shortcut way that, that will be interesting, fun, or they will
yes,
enjoy the process. Because
yeah,
already we have learned, I have been learning English since childhood. Because in
hmm,
India, our education system is totally switched in English.
right,
But when we talk about a speaking part, so in India also there is no environment. Still we are struggling to uh, find the environment where we can talk easily to any person in English language. Still we
hmm,
talk in our native language like Hindi or any other languages.
right, right.
Yeah, that's great. And next thing I want to ask you about that, if I want to increase the vocabulary, mostly it's happened when I talk to any native speakers, because I have been learning this language last 7 months. So sometimes it's happened with me also. Whenever I talk to any native speaker, so sometimes I get stuck because I have a limited word or vocabulary. So if I want to increase vocabulary, what will be the process?
I would ask, kind of. Well, I think I think increasing vocabulary might be reading books that are in English, novels, poems. That would definitely increase your vocabulary. Um, and then even certain like apps that, for instance, change words from one language to another. That would be another way to go about doing that. And then you also increase your vocabulary by listening to music and watching movies. So if you're not a visual learner. I'm a visual learner, but I know a lot of people learn auditory through hearing. So that's where movies and music can also, because then you'll hear like a word and then you'll look it up and it'll get in your head. So,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Actually, we have to focus on listening because while listening, we have to, we engage on that the things whenever we listen and whenever we watch any content in English. So it will be help to increase the vocabulary. Simultaneously, we can remember. For example, if I want to say something and I don't know the word, which word I have to use to express my feeling or whatever. So that time I use dictionary or the things that will help to increase the vocabulary. And vocabulary is really important because even I could speak English fluently, but I don't have enough vocab. So sometimes I get stuck whenever I want to say something. Even sometimes I listen some unfamiliar word. I will I will confuse that what was that, and I didn't listen. I had heard this word that first time, so I don't know the meaning. So that's why in this scenario we need to increase our vocabulary. So that's why great. We
mhm.
have to focus on listening, watching, and also we have to remember maybe on daily basis some new vocabs. It will be help. We have to focus on not random vocabs. The vocab that is English in daily use, whatever we use in daily conversation related to our lifestyle or the things. And
That's why
yeah,
songs are good.
and yeah, and that is right. Next one I want to ask you, what is the most common English language mistake? Mostly people, if any beginner, if they are speaking English, so what kind of mistakes they made?
Usually pronouncing words and spelling. I think that's the hardest with English because words are not spelled out necessarily the way that they're sounded, and that's what makes it hard. So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, actually, pronunciation mistake is really common mistake. Whenever we are going to learn any new languages, we don't know to how to produce the sound and from which places. When we talk about
mhm.
English, so English is a common language. Some people know English very well, but when we talk about other languages, like actually, I am improving my English, and from next year I am going to start two new languages like Spanish and German. So
Okay.
yeah, for this language, English is like a familiar language, so I could improve my English very well or very in a
Hmm.
short period of time. But whenever whenever I start new language, that will be challenging for me. I have to
Yeah.
learn individual vocabs. That means everything from the beginning.
Right.
So really, so really, I will do a lot of mistake. I know very well,
Mhm.
but I have to overcome all the mistakes, and I at least
Yeah.
I want to speak at a basic level, not advanced level, but at least I can make communication. Whatever I want to share, I can share in Spanish
Yeah,
and
you're doing
German.
well. Okay. Already. So, yeah, you're fine. Um, but learning other European languages because they have the same alphabet, but they pronounce letters differently. That's the only thing. It's not like other languages that have a specific alphabet, and then let's say a neighboring language like Tamil has a completely different
Yeah,
alphabet. So it's a little bit
Tamil.
easier to, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. When we talk about Tamil language, so even I am from India, but I don't know
R.
Tamil language,
Yeah.
and
They
even
have the
I,
letter R.
yeah.
Yeah, they have some very different.
Yeah, even I have some friend from north south part. So whenever I talk about I want to learn Tamil, they always say
Mhm.
you have to learn sincerely. Then you can learn because it is little bit difficult. When we talk about
Yeah.
when we compare from other languages, so Tamil is really difficult. So if you really want, you have to be sincere. You have to be engaged. So yeah, I will learn because Tamil is also very famous, not in India also, in abroad too, because mostly people from south part they are living in out of India like UK, US, and Canada. Germany, Italy. So
Mhm.
mostly Tamil are famous on those countries.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
mostly where I'm at, it's mostly people from what is that area called? Telugu speaking area.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
that's mostly what you have here, and some Malayalam people from Kerala. I was
Yeah, yeah.
married to a
Malayalam, Telugu, Tamil.
my ex-wife is Tamil, so that's why.
Oh, yeah. So your ex-wife from where, India?
Tamil, yeah, her family came from Tamil.
Okay.
Tamar. Yeah, they call it
Yeah.
Tamar.
Yeah, yeah. So one more question I want to ask you. If someone wants to, become fluent in English, so how long does it take?
It's all individual. For some people, it can take a few years. Some people, a few months. It just depends. Because I know for me, a lot of these languages have taken a long time. So.
Yeah, definitely. I also want to share, I have some friends from India, same countries. So they are learning languages, even English, last 20-25 years. Yeah, they could speak
Mhm.
English very well. Their grammar is really so excellent, but still they are learning. So
Right.
learning language is just a journey, not like a destination.
Right.
But some
That's
people
what I'm
to be
finding out.
fluent, it takes so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah, it totally depend on that person, how many effort or the time they put to make practice or engage on that language. So it totally depend on that person. If they want to clear any IELTS exam or many, something like that, so they can be prepared, they can be uh, fluent in within few weeks,
Hmm.
or maybe they have just learn for, there is no any specific goal, but they want to learn. So it depend on that person, it can be learned in some years or some
Yeah.
months.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to get off here in a second. So.
Okay. So okay, I have a little more questions, then we can wind up this session. So just I want to
Yes.
ask you, if anybody want to start a conversation in English, so how they can start a conversation?
Uh, Kind of maybe asking them, "Hello, how are you doing?" That's a good way of asking a question. And that's both genders. There's no genders in English in terms of like introduction and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. We can start without, without any hesitation, whatever. Just we have to introduce yourself and start talking each other's whatever we have,
Hmm.
habit. For example, when we like to talk about the hobbies, book reading, or something, whatever we like, what is the common between us. So we can talk. That is a great idea. And yeah, and also two more questions. That means one more question is, how can I stay motivated to learn languages? For example, learn languages means English only.
Uh, Good question. I'd say motivation comes from just reasons for you learning that language, I think, and always having kind of a reason to kind of push you to continue to learn. So let's say you're trying to travel abroad or maybe read English literature. Those would all be valid reasons to continue to kind of learn.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, that's great. So, okay. So, do you have any question?
Nope.
Okay. So, just I want to ask more, one more question. You are learning like some Bhagavad Gita, something like that, Ramayan. That's why you are learning Sanskrit. So, how inspire you to
Yes.
learn these things? Who inspire you?
Uh, who inspired me? I think I just sort of went to it myself, and I started to read these things. I was also part of a meditation group at one point, and I wanted to just kind of deepen that and learn how to read Sanskrit. So that's been my motivation.
Yeah, that's great. When we feel talk about, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, something, main sloka has been written in Sanskrit. Translation,
Right.
the translate is available. Maybe, book has been translated in many languages, but the
Right.
main slok, main slok is still in Sanskrit.
Sanskrit. Right. For sure.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So have a nice day. Bye. We will
You
meet you
too.
soon.
Take care. All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you having to this conversation podcast.